Commissioner Hacker, Commissioner Kaplan, Commissioner Garrity, Commissioner McEnany, and right now that's it. Okay.
Excuse me, I'm going to go out and come back in because everybody got really tiny on my screen. So I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, we will wait then.
Okay.
I'll pull up this screen share.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now I can declare we have a quorum. And if there are any, we invite comments at the appropriate time from the public. We just request that the comment be limited to 3 minutes in duration and addresses the topic at hand. This evening, we have 2 items on the agenda for a hearing. Let's see, we have, oops, I'm looking at the wrong agenda. All right, we have 120, there it is, right there in front of me. I'm sorry, juggling computer screens. 123 South Pearl Street in the Mansion Historic District, and we're looking at the proposal to replace the existing recess storefront with a new storefront. We did look at this in a preliminary workshop fashion several weeks back and had some comments, and the applicant has returned with more development of their proposal. So, Aaron, if you want to add anything to that or invite the applicant to present the project.
So I'll just do a brief overview. At the April meeting, the commission had requested that the applicant provide more detailed architectural drawings. He did work with a local architect and has had elevation drawings done that show both the existing storefront and the proposed storefront, as well as noting where original material will be uncovered and where original material will be retained, such as the ceiling detailing with the wood paneling that's currently existing, and also section drawing and proposed or existing and proposed plans showing the footprint of the building. And then Ahmed is here if you have any other information you would like to include, or any questions for the commission.
No, you summarized it well. I have no further questions.
Well, I know we lament the loss of a recessed entry, but also understand the applicant's needs, and did have discussion previously. You are proposing to retain the existing wood ceiling that currently defines the recessed entry. And that appears to be a confirmation of something that we discussed at the last meeting. The elevation view showing the pressed tin sign panel above the windows is, I guess, a new feature. Have you removed is this visible behind the existing awning that's covering it?
Yeah, so the awning is just currently on like a metal frame that's drilled on there. So it is when me and Keith Kramer, when we looked at it, you can't really see it in the picture, but it's covered by the awning.
But it's up in there behind the awning. And,
Yes.
And is in salvageable condition.
Yeah,
presumably.
I'm sure we can probably restore it, or once we get it cleaned up and maybe give it a fresh paint job.
Okay.
And the AC units would be coming out.
Right. Is there lighting proposed?
On the exterior or interior?
No, on the exterior. I was just,
No, I mean, we have no current lighting there anyway. I guess that would all have to do with the tenant or how their signage would be.
well, that's
But
true.
I think right now the awning, there is currently a lighting fixture in there that sort of glows up the awning.
Mhm. All right. Well, I'll open it up to other comments and discussion by fellow commissioners.
Do we have more information? I know we discussed it, of all the materials, the panels and any colors and materials.
So the storefront itself will be the dark bronze metal framing, the insulated tempered glass, and then 1-inch insulated bronze textured aluminum panels, which are the base panels. And then the elevations do show all the dimensions for the new systems and doors.
I'd like to know if there's any alternatives to that. Oh, I already forgot what you called it, but it's kind of like that bubbly or surface lower aluminum panel.
The texturized?
Texturized. Yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't quite
Okay.
get to that. Yeah.
And do you know if it's smooth or if it is like does it have a texture? What kind of texture it has on it?
Yeah, it's like a texture. It's what Amazing Glass proposed, because I think that's what they've done in historical districts, and it's what they've done on the 115 South Pearl Street, as well as 123, or not 123, 117 South Pearl Street. So it's in line with what has been done currently on the block as well. So I think they wanted to keep it uniform. Yeah, it's not smooth. It's like a texture when you run your hand on it for the panels.
Is it like an embossed stucco texture, or what? How would you characterize it?
I mean, it's still a metal material. It's just the word's just not coming to me.
Could you call it like a hammered metal? Hammered?
Yes, almost like that.
Um,
I don't know, Aaron, maybe you do, but I don't know about the other references to where it was used in the district, where we saw it, et cetera. But be nice to see that. I'd prefer that it was just a smooth material without a textured face, but I don't know what's available, and we haven't seen a sample of it.
It looks like that. It's very it's not as noticeable as you would think, the texture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can tell by that picture right there.
This is the is this
117?
117?
Yes.
So this is the storefront that was approved in 2018 by the commission. I mean, Marilyn or would you be open to using like a smooth panel rather than the texturized?
Yeah, I mean, I would just have to follow up with Amazing Glass, see if that is an option. I just don't know if that was the only option. It's just what Donna from Amazing Glass provided.
Okay.
Would be great. And one more question. I think I was looking at something when you spoke to it. The tin, can we go back to the elevation? So what do we know about the tin there that's shown?
Are you talking about on
Just
the?
where it says existing pressed tin. So,
Yes, that's on the face behind the awning.
and it's all the way across,
Yes,
so it's all intact.
yes. So we won't be disturbing that.
And is it tiny like that? Is it kind of like little 4-inch squares or
Yes, some along those lines.
something like that as drawn?
Yep.
Okay. And Aaron, will we be, is this the review of the sign or does that happen?
That will happen either administratively or it'll come back
Okay.
to the HRC.
Okay, so that's not part of what we're
That's
looking
Yeah,
at.
not-
right
yeah.
now we're just leaving the existing awning sign because it's the current tenant. Keith just wanted to show that this what it would look like, and he wanted to show the existing press tin.
So is it the intent that the existing awning remains? Or is that, I thought that was to be removed and,
I mean, at the current time, we have no plans of taking it down because we don't have anything to do with the business. That would be up to them. Our initial talks with the tenant was that we would, upon lease renewal, that we would redo the storefront for them because they had some concerns with the recessed storefront. So this is what we're doing, but I'm not any confirmed plans for the awning coming down or if they're going to renew it or if there's going to be a new tenant. But this is what we information we have right now.
and I like the idea of exposing the pressed tin because it has some historic precedent on the building. And so it does lend to the composition of the new storefront.
Will Amazing Glass need to take that awning down to do their work?
They mentioned that they don't need to disturb that to do their work.
Are there any other observations, thoughts, or comments from the commission?
Don't.
Are we in a position to move on this item?
I'd make a motion, but I came late, but
Oh, hi, Aaron.
hi.
That's
Commissioner
fine.
Tobin
If-
has joined the crew here.
I don't know if this helps, but if it pleases the committee, we could also take down the existing awning and expose the press tin. And then it would just require the tenant to have a new sign that would just be approved by administratively by the building department.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, I think that's an
Yeah.
improvement. Again, I think the composition works well with the pressed tin, and it's nice to see it exposed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I understand it, we're in a position to make a motion as long as the insulated panel can be done as a relatively smooth finish and not textured, and that the existing pressed tin restored would be left exposed, and the new sign would either come back to the commission or be handled administratively.
Sorry, just to add on, can I follow as far as the textured versus smooth up with Aaron? I just have to follow up with Donna just to make sure that it is an option. Because if it's not an option, then do we just stick with this texture? I just don't know 100%.
I think that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And then obviously any lighting of the facade would either come back to the commission or be reviewed by planning staff.
Okay. Fair.
Is there a motion from a commissioner for that?
I'd be happy to offer that the change be made as directed, as offered by the owner, and that the option of how to handle the existing canopy could be considered in-house by staff when it comes time for the new tenant to put in a movement or put in a sign there, which might keep the existing canopy or might go back to where we see now with the pressed tin. The other, basically, this is good, and I think the owner has certainly worked to try and accommodate the feeling of the historic building. You have a second.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Aren't you are we on a public hearing? Is there
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
So
anyone from the public? When do we ask them?
usually now. I don't believe we had anybody signed up to speak, but give me 1 second. It doesn't look like we have anybody signed up or requesting to speak.
okay. Well, we have a motion and a second. I would, hearing no other comments, I would call it to a vote. All those in favor of the application as presented and described in the motion? I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Hacker,
Aye.
Commissioner McEnany,
Aye.
Commissioner Tobin, Commissioner Kaplan,
Marilyn,
and
Are we waiting? I'm
Commissioner
sorry.
Garrity.
I got lost in air on the Tobin and then dog. Was it my
And the
turn?
dog bark? Okay.
That was an aye. That was
All right, good. All right, the motion is passed and the application is approved.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
thank you.
You.
Aaron, I can follow up with you offline.
Yes, yep.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
And the next item on the agenda is 52 North Pearl Street. This is in the downtown Albany Historic District. And we're, after the discussions we had a few weeks ago, the applicant is returning to, actually, we discussed it in a workshop agenda. So now they're returning for the certificate of appropriateness for the revised storefront. So shall we proceed with the discussion or presentation?
Sure. So Chris did provide updated elevation drawings with the correction for the 3 panels on the north corner, and then also the removal of the fire department connection. There has been no material changes from the last meeting, so they are still proposing to do the shiplap paneling within the sign band area. They are still proposing to use the gooseneck lighting, and then the glass panels in the sections next to.
No, Aaron, I'm
Yes.
sorry. No, we're going to do the same wood because the glass panel just did not look it didn't flow right with the contour, what we're trying to do to fill those spaces. So if you look at this, that's why you see the elevation drawn the wood.
Gotcha. Okay. So that would be the one revision.
Yeah.
Are they different colors or does it,
No, it's just,
how it
I
came
don't
out?
know, sometimes he doesn't, I don't know. It's all the same, it'll all be stained the same. I don't know why he did it that way, but I mean, maybe he thought the color matched, I don't know.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So if
And
there's any
the
other
reason-
questions
The
for,
reason that the glass wasn't used or applicable?
I just don't think it will look as good. I think it's ugly, to be honest with you. I
You
think
got
we
a
only
black-
went with it.
You got a black pillar there, and then you'd have a black piece of glass right next to it to a dark door frame. It just didn't look right with the black pillar and the piece of little black glass there.
I mean, is that more that shiplap and you're gonna return that into the?
Yes,
The
yes,
recent
we'll return. If
building?
you go back, Aaron, to that picture, the proposed with the gooseneck lighting.
Well, you're gonna use that treatment in the recess.
Yes,
We're gonna get,
yes.
maybe
I
even.
think it will look much sharper. It will all flow together instead of that glass. Aaron, if you go back to that facade, the one that shows, not the one that had the lights, the one I used as an example.
yes.
See how it's going in right there? It'll be like that.
And I like the two tones, actually, if they, you know.
Yeah. Yep. I just didn't think the glass it's ugly. It doesn't look, it doesn't go, it conflicts with the beams. It just didn't look good. I think this will look much better. It will flow better from the top.
Will you be able to relocate your control panel also to where you're proposing to put siding in? Is there enough space there?
Yeah, we can fit it right there. Yeah.
Aaron, do you have a plan view in the package?
This or the elevation? Or these are,
So-
oh, I'm sorry, this is an existing floor plan. This isn't a proposed floor plan, John.
Right, I'm just trying to get the geometry and where the wood would appear. It's,
You can go back to the current picture and you can see how it goes in there.
So it would be
Yeah.
here,
Yeah. Yep.
and then
So in that recess, and then on the opposite side is also the wood, the side we
On
can't
the face,
see.
on that sick, because they can't frame that out. It's too narrow.
So Claire, I apologize. I'm trying to follow this as well. So
Here,
there's,
give me 1 second, Marilyn, hold on. Or you can ask your question. Let me do this real quick. Share. Okay. So it would be currently here, right, Chris? And then on this
Sorry.
side.
I don't see your mouse. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh, there it is. Okay.
here.
Yeah,
then
just
also
there and then right there.
here,
Yes.
so.
But it will also be going in to flow in, but you want to see it from the,
So also within the entry.
yes, yeah.
So it's on both sides of the entry, on the
Mhm.
right and left side.
Right.
I'm going to voice the same objection that I had last week when we saw this. I don't know that anyone shared that concern, but if you would go back to the photograph with the wood, Aaron. Or the one that the design is based on, I guess.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. I still don't find a flat, unpaneled, oversized wood panel such as this compatible with the building. And
But I don't understand, Marilyn, when you're saying
I didn't
oversized.
finish, Chris. Hold on.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Compatible with the building or really with the streetscape. I don't think it's a material that a stained or varnish or whatever it is would. We just don't see that in storefronts. Typically,
We don't, or you don't?
I don't see it in historic districts
Okay.
typically as an original, or in my mind, a compatible material.
Okay, so what do you want us to put on there?
Well, let's go back to the elevation. What I was saying is that that's my opinion on this. I don't know how the other commissioners, what their perspectives are. I'm just, I'm not any more comfortable with it as a surface. I don't find it compatible with the building or the streetscape, as I just said.
Well, doesn't it match the Steuben Street Market that I'm seeing in the drawing here?
Yes, it
Yes.
does match it. The only difference is we're going to stain it because I don't think painting it white and having the two
Yeah.
buildings look the same makes any
Yeah.
sense whatsoever.
Yeah, but it's the same.
It's the same material, same
And
exact wood, everything. The only difference is we primed and painted the Steuben Street Market one. It'll be the same dimension. It will be the same width, the same length.
Can you show us, you had a picture in the workshop of the Steuben Street Market sign. I feel like the image we just saw, I don't find the one before this one, I don't find helpful, because if that's what you're putting on, it does look too big. But my memory is that that was like a sample you found somewhere. So can we look at the Steuben Street Market again?
Or hold on. Yes.
Is that
Yeah, I don't know what else. I mean, I can't find an example that is exactly the same dimensions. And I understand looking at it, you're thinking that it's going to be that wide, that big. I agree. It's going to be the same dimension. And the drawing, the elevation drawing, it flows right across. They're both the same size. But I don't think doing them the same, and I disagree. I think the wood will look great. I think it will look rich. It's brick. I think it will look, it will pop it better than anything else we can do on there right at this point.
And Aaron, could you go back to the elevation? Because I want to, so there was some picture, I thought we had a big discussion about the current opening, the current door opening on 52. And is the sign gonna start from that, the top, the uppermost, if you go back to the, sorry, if you go back to the picture you had just shown, I can't point because you can't see where I'm pointing. But on the right, that opening, so the image on the right of 52.
Yes.
The current door opening, the current cutout, is the sign going to go to there, or is it going to come down? It's going to come down and match the line of Steuben, right?
It will match Steuben. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it will come down. It's coming down.
It will come down, right? And that, I remember you saying that it's coming down like 2.5 clapboards.
Yes, but I don't.
that.
It's in the elevation drawing. You can see it. It lines right up going across. So I don't know. Maybe we need. I don't know what else I can show you, but it's going to be exactly the same.
Yeah. No, I just don't have it. I can't. I only have one monitor right now. So
I got you.
Look at all of them. I know you've shown us. I'm just trying to.
They'll be exactly the same.
That's the picture I want. Yeah, this one is good. So, okay. And we reviewed and approved, I'm sorry, I don't remember, the Steuben Street Market sign?
Yes, it was part of the original package.
Yes.
Okay.
That Pearl Street wine bar, we don't even know if it's going to be a wine bar. So I'm not looking to get approval. We can come back for a sign when and if either we do it or tenant does it. I was just showing that it will line up with the existing, will be proportionate to where we have on the other side.
So from my perspective, I hear what Commissioner Kaplan is saying, but I don't have a problem with it. I mean, you don't have an original storefront. The Steuben Street Market sign was approved.
Mm-hmm.
It matches, but differentiates. I think we had an extensive conversation about sort of the scale and the glazing and
Mm-hmm.
but I come at it more from a perspective of what's original there that's being saved and less about the design of the storefront. So
Yeah, the beams are really the only original. And they were, 2 of the 3 were buried. We exposed them.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. I think the, aligning it and using the cast iron elements basically to frame it,
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be, as long as it's not the rough texture, it's a smooth sanded surface.
Yeah.
I think, it could work very well there.
Yeah, I do. I think with the brick, with the industrial style lights, it will make it look classy, and it will distinguish the building from the Steuben Street Market, which is what we absolutely want to do.
Yeah, even though we saw photos a few weeks ago that they were much closer in appearance at one point, but now they've been differentiated quite substantially. So
Right.
I want to continue that.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess the only piece of wood I have a little problem with is the orphan on the to the left of the door to the apartments. It just seems like a little filler piece.
It's very
Yeah.
narrow. It's very narrow there. You're right.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean, but it definitely on the other side, because if we're gonna go in with it, it should
Yeah.
flow together. Yeah.
If you're going to wrap it, then that makes sense. Wrap it into the opening.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can go back to the glass for that piece right there. But the only problem I have there is I got to mount my control on something. I don't know how I'm going to mount it. I gotta have access to the apartments. That's why I went with the wood there. But we could do the same, and we could paint it black, so it just kind of flows with the beam and everything else. But I really have to have back access for the wire controls to get into the building.
Yeah,
And
that's understood. I just think that,
yeah,
and a piece of metal that is a component of the storefront system. Or
yeah, we could probably absolutely do that, John. We could put something there, metal. I mean, so really the only difference would be the drawing, but that would not be the wood. We would just do, if it's approved, that we would just make sure that that's gonna be metal, but the other side is gonna be the wood, because it just flows as it wraps the corner. I think it will flow much better.
Well, it also accentuates the entrance to
Mhm.
the business and downplays the entrance to the apartment.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So thank you.
Do we have any other comments from the commissioners? I think this has certainly moved by leaps and bounds past what we are seeing right now. So
Yeah, I agree.
we appreciate your work in accommodating that need
Hmm.
and making this.
Yeah, we
look
just
more-
wanted, the weather obviously is getting better. We got to get this done in warm weather, because we're going to be exposing a good amount of the building for a little bit of time. So
Well, you need a sidewalk cafe out there.
yeah. We need a tenant.
Oh, that's it.
Hey, Aaron, did you get that email I just sent you?
Yeah.
Can you hit that link for that image?
Yep, give me
Are you
one.
finding more photographs, George?
So originally when Chris and I were talking about making these with wood storefronts, you think of the Back Bay section of Boston or down in New York and stuff, and it's very popular. It's just something that I was just sending him a long time ago that we looked at that was just a natural wood front. So did you be able to pull that up or no?
You see it?
That's not what it's going to look like, but that's just an idea of some of what wood fronts look like.
Yeah, that's a pretty contemporary form, and it doesn't have an
Yeah, that's
ornate
not-
building sitting on top of it.
No, right.
It is-
But
It's a
yeah,
different
just,
context, but
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
handsome assembly.
yeah, it's.
Yeah, and that one's got knots in it. It won't have the knots.
Yeah, it won't
It'll
have
be more of a
knots. It was-
smooth
yeah.
wood. Yes.
Well, hard pine.
Won't be hard pine, will it?
Price of lumber is going out of sight, so
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, we got it.
buy it fast.
I think
No,
we
we
have
already
some.
have
of
it.
it. We already have the wood
Yeah.
because it's the same wood as the other side.
getting in front of, you guys getting in front of this in a different way, I think it's a good approach at this point. And it really, that's how I support it. And I do also see it as reversible to whoever the tenant may be, but that's a good step forward,
Right,
by
right.
all means.
No, I
Well,
appreciate it.
We're going
We're
that
not
route.
losing any existing fabric. We're,
Yeah.
you know, there's a good deal of conjecture here. But
Yeah, no, I'm very comfortable with it. I think it's gonna look sharp. The reason we couldn't come up with a design before, we were too focused on getting the market open. And now that that's done and we can focus and we have different ideas, I'm actually from everybody's input. I'm very comfortable with this. I think it's gonna look sharp. I think it's gonna really pop the brick and with the industrial lights. And I think with the treatments and everything and with the, you know, the bottom half, I think it will look really good. So.
are there any other comments that people would like to make? Are we ready to consider a motion on this matter?
I'll move, we approve. I don't, this plant, this design, storefront design, as noted in the submitted plans. Did we have any, I'm trying to think, did we have any conditions we wanted to put on it? I think the plans were clear, but I know that there was discussion how some of what was the images that were submitted didn't correspond to exactly what was going to go on the storefront, but.
Well, we also talked about replacing the piece of wood to the left of the apartment entry with a material compatible with the storefront framing system.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's acceptable.
So just like wrapped metal.
Yeah, I could probably get them to do a bend and
Yeah,
put it there. I just
Yeah.
want it to flow. But like I said, I'm definitely gonna need something to mount the control on, so.
With that additional caveat that sorry, I'm trying to mute between my dog barking and like every person in
That's all
Albany who's walking down my street right now. That the piece of wood above all the way on the right will be wrapped.
Yes, yep, understood, yep.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Do we have any comments from the general public, Aaron?
Let me
Anyone want to
see.
speak?
We don't have anybody signed up and. Nope, I think we're all set for public comment.
Okay. I will call it to a vote then. All those in favor of the, well, again, I'll do a roll call. It's easier than waving hands on a Zoom call. For those in favor or not, I'll start again. I will just do a roll call. Commissioner Hacker,
Aye.
Commissioner Tobin.
Aye.
Okay. Woof. Commissioner McEnany.
I have to abstain because of appearance of complex you know.
Conflict of interest.
Sounds like a conflict.
Commissioner Kaplan
Aye.
and Commissioner Garrity. Did I miss anybody?
Yourself.
Oh, aye. All right, we have one abstention and 5 ayes, so the motion passes. You know,
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
for,
Thank you.
for,
Yeah.
you know, all your work and trying to accede to our comments, and
Very helpful, very
I think
helpful.
it'll
Thank you.
it'll be. a
Yes,
nice
thank you very
improvement
much.
To the building.
Appreciate the
and-
understanding. So, thank you.
Super.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you, you too. Aaron, I've lost you on my screen. You're there someplace. There you are.
Here.
I have to keep scrolling back and forth on this thing. Do we have any other items new business items to come before the commission?
No, not currently. There's no applications at this time. We will be having 2 or 3. We don't have any applications, formal applications to review for the next meeting, but there are 3 concept reviews for the next meeting on June 2nd. And the big one will be the St. John's proposal. So if you, I will be sending out the packet with the information, but when you do get that, if you could really go over it and just make any comments and feedback for that, because it is a fairly large project.
What's the project?
Or Mary, we'll come back to you, Aaron Tobin.
Oh, I was just gonna say, my dog was barking surprisingly while you were saying that. Is that gonna be a workshop first before?
It will be a workshop.
And I want to just clarify, our purview in that project is only the exterior, right?
Correct. Yes.
Mhm.
So
And
no matter
it's
what we think of the interior, that's
Correct.
not us.
Right.
It's all, you're looking just at the exterior, so it will be all 4 elevations, because all 4 elevations are visible from a public right of way.
Mhm.
We do not look at use, and we do not look at interior layouts.
Okay.
So what's the project? What's the proposed use?
It's a conversion, of the church to 27 residential units.
And who's doing it?
Patrick Chu.
Okay.
It's gonna
So
be fun.
it's going to be very fun.
This
So
should be interesting.
yes.
Are there any state funds and state review or tax credits, do you know?
I know that he's applying for a state loan, a PPT loan. PLP. Have any of you heard of it? I hadn't heard of it before. But it's a loan through the state. He's used it for other projects. But he will have to come before the Historic Resources Commission and also go before the planning board for the conversion. So
Wow.
Did I see
Marilyn,
it? Yeah.
I'll just say what I've seen. I don't think it would qualify for tax credits. So
I don't think he's going for the commercial credits because of that.
He's kind of going to go through the roof, right? With another story, shed dormer stories, or
He's adding some dormers, yeah, to get the ceiling heights in order to do the apartments. So it'll be very interesting to review.
Who's doing the architectural work? You know?
Someone out of Boston Spa, Burnt Hills, Ferraro.
Well, I guess it'll be interesting, just like you all said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had this fantasy for decades of it being since the roof was all shot, it should be like a big farmer's market, and a big open space, but I didn't do anything about it. So yeah. It'd be nice
That's
to
St.
see.
Joseph's out in Rochester.
Say again?
St. Joseph's in Rochester has
Yep.
an area, it looks like a ruin in Ireland where there's a nice lawn down there and the walls around it and no roof. And it's used for concerts.
Oh,
yeah, the Landmark Society owns that. Mm.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
well,
So I think
so
that's
that's the big bucks.
I'm gonna go investigate that pressed tin down on Pearl Street.
Well, supposedly it's visible up under the canopy or the awning.
It's a strange location. I've never seen tin. I guess that's Chris, what you're wondering.
Yeah, is it tin? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it tin?
Or did somebody paint little glass blocks and it looks like, who knows?
The Lutron, is that what they're called? What are those?
Oh, the prism glass.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lutron, is it? I don't know if I'm saying it right.
One other item I just wanted to mention was an email that I received from one of the companies that installs cell phone equipment on buildings, and they were doing the pro forma because they're required to submit it to the local historic authorities because they are in a historic district. This is on the Renaissance Hotel, and the package of information that they included with the notification was fairly devoid of any specific information. So I forwarded it to Aaron, and we are requesting the complete package so that we can take a look at it and understand what they're proposing to do.
Mhm.
There are already a number of devices on that building, but then I know we spent a good deal of time reviewing that several years ago,
Right.
and certainly want to make sure that we have eyes on it as well now. Pretty prominent view shed in that area.
So it's just their, it's for the FCC requirement through 106. And it's the notification and comment period prior to any local reviews. So I did reach out and request the architectural drawings for the proposed location because there were no specifications for how large the antenna is or where they would be located and if they're proposing to take down or if they're new antennas. So
Another voice is heard from.
Time my doorbell is.
Also, Aaron, what is the timeline for our report to the Common Council related to demolitions?
it's due August 6th. I have a note to follow up with Rick about the April reports because I did not receive them and I had checked with Brad. I hadn't received them. So I have time tomorrow. It's on my list of things to do for tomorrow while I'm in the office. So I will reach out to him to get that report from April and then just make sure that we will be getting a report in July as well. So
Okay.
and then I will schedule something with you and Marilyn to go over that so that we can start working on the reporting that's required.
Okay. We may want to get together ahead of time and just work through an outline of what the report content will be. And obviously invite comment from the other commissioners as well.
So
I'm sorry.
if that's August 6th, you'd want a pretty good final version a week ahead, right? So the end of July.
Right.
So we kind of have 8-9 weeks, but we don't have Rick's stuff, which is really the base of what we have to work,
Right.
what we'll work from.
So we would want the draft by the 30th, July 30th. And my intention for the date of August 6th was so that we could share the report with HRC on August 4th. So that if there is any other, anything else that needs to be included, there's at least a day between
And a day to
a day to a day and a half to adjust. So
So say again, he had one due in
April.
April, and that was for not the first quarter. That was like the last quarter of 20 or something. It doesn't really matter what it was, but he had one due in April.
Mhm.
Does he remember that he had one due in April? Have you talked to him? And
I
asked him?
haven't really talked to him that much. He was out of the office. He was sick. So, and that may have been the reason why I didn't get anything from him. But I haven't really seen him to talk to him about it.
So I would hope that we had it from him so that, well, I'll be gone a couple weeks in July. I mean, I'm very happy to work on it. And I hope it becomes for us more than just and I hope it has some real value to us rather than
Mhm.
just pasting his stuff together and whatever. Yeah, it'd be really nice to get it by the 1st of June. So we,
yeah, no, I think I will follow up with him. I mean, we can at least start the process for the April information. But we also will have to review the July information as well in order to fully reflect both reports from the building department.
so our August is for 2 different periods, 2 quarters.
Correct.
Well, as soon as he has some stuff, even if it's not all, it would be really, really helpful to have. In
Yes.
fact, it would be better to, I don't know what kind of format he's got, but if he had something for just a couple of the early ones and provided it to us, we would then be able to say, terrific, or do you have this?
Right.
And include this kind of information, please, and or certainly help us for the documentation for future demos. So
Mhm.
yeah, if we could get even some of the earlier ones from him, I think it would be very helpful.
Okay.
Aaron, would you happen to have access to any reports that he had done, the end of last year?
I can find out. If I can't get it from him, I can most likely get it from the Common Council. So,
Because if nothing else, just seeing the format and how he presents the information gives us a leg up on
Right.
crafting the outline of what we want to do and how we incorporate his information. We won't use that information, but it would be good to see how it's organized.
mhm.
Do we know that he does reports for each building, or is it just a series of, say he gets bids from contractors and then issues a permit? Do we know that there's a formal report that puts it all together per building?
For each demolition or for
For each demo, yeah.
I'm not sure really, to be perfectly honest. I know that each property gets its own individual engineer's report. They have and keep file of all of the bids that they receive from contractors. But I don't know, I've never seen a report that's gone to the Common Council. So I'm not sure what information is included in those, but if I can't get it from them, then I might just reach out to either the city clerk or the attorney that staffs the Common Council.
So he does submit a report to the Common Council for each building.
It's in, well, I think his report includes any building that has been demolished or stabilized within the city within a quarter. So I don't know if those reports include all the information specific to each individual property, or if it's just an overarching list of properties that have been removed or stabilized.
I'd like to propose that we, rather than wait for what we're going to get from Rick, and he's got a lot of other stuff going on anyway, that maybe we try to set up a call with him sooner than later and find out what he has, and he can start to give us some samples of it. I mean, it's really, I think, intended as a collaborative process rather than, I mean, I hope that's I think John's goal. So yeah, if we can set something up with him just to see what he's got, understand his schedule, and then, as you were saying, John, start to work on our format. I mean, ideally, our format would be his format, right? Like,
I think it mimics the format. I think the way that it's outlined within the law, I think it does mimic the format that they currently use.
Is it possibly that we can see some kind of reporting or treatment of when there's a demolition, the neighbors' houses or the row houses that get affected by them and how they're treated? And
Well,
what kind of
these are all-
expenses are even put into that?
Yeah, I mean, these are all factors that we need to take into consideration. And, you know, part of our role, I think, is to offer feedback to the building department when we put our report together. And if we see some deficiency or some lack of information that's
Lack of enforcement?
that is germane to the historic districts, then, you know, try and
I ran
improve
into
the process.
I ran into a situation this week. I've been working slowly helping South End Improvement Corp do a survey of the buildings within a large area of the district. So I've been out photographing the buildings and working with the previous executive director, do an assessment of the buildings. So we were, it was a beautiful day, a lot of people on the street, and this woman came and spoke to us. She's the owner of 89 Clinton. Mrs. Tolliver, very, very nice woman. And they had done a demolition. You probably know this one, Aaron, pretty well. They had done a demolition maybe a year or two ago, and it's a little unclear to me whether there was a shared party wall or whether just enough of the adjacent building was left that the parts of the fireplace were there and bricks could fall down and things like that. But it's really a raw state. So she had spoken to, it must have been through COVID period, because she had said how helpful Kara was, but she'd never met her yet until she just went, anyway, that she hadn't met her because of COVID. So here's what, so she was very, she was very upset with the condition of her, the north wall of her building. So here's what Kara wrote back to me a couple days ago. Yes, Mrs. Tolliver and I were talking weekly for a while. I was also talking to Rick LaJoy every other week for a bit about it. We asked several contractors to give quotes to get a ballpark on what was needed to be done, but stopped for the time being when Gannams came in at 100,000 and Rick said the city was committed to doing some repairs. We were never able to get what the repairs they were going to do actually were. At that time, we thought a better plan would be to see what the city does and then have the wall reassessed. A new scope could be put together from what was left to be done. I also talked to South End Improvement Corp about funding for it. At the time, I thought it would be a good candidate for this new fund the city has to repair buildings, but my fear is that the cost would come back to Mrs. Tolliver, even though the demo wasn't her fault. So Chris, that's exactly what you're asking about.
Yeah.
This one, everybody's got some information on. It's so maybe, and because I think it's maybe part of the whole discussion of emergency demolitions is what is the impact on adjacent walls, and is the city prepared to address that at the time of the demolition? So maybe this is worth talking about when we speak to Rick.
Yeah.
How many Mrs. Tollivers are out there?
And how many was she?
Can I make
Very
a,
nice.
can I make a point here? I was listening to all of this conversation, and it took 80% of the conversation before the word building department came up. And everybody talked about Rick without mentioning the name LaJoy until the very end. And I think if we have people from the general public watching, we're playing too much inside baseball, because we all assume that we all know the players and we know their position, et cetera. So it would be helpful if we, at some point, hopefully in the beginning, that there is a report that is due from this department, which is offered by this individual. We were hoping we had more now, et cetera, and give their commission their, or to give their position and so on, so that the person who was listening to the beginning of that conversation would not become lost and then more lost, and then mercifully at the end find out building department and LaJoy. just for future reference.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
Thank you. That's good. We sometimes forget that we've got,
Yeah,
the
we
general
play a lot of
public and
inside
students.
baseball.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just shortcuts. Yeah.
But we also, I realize that, it's recorded. So right now it's just us, and I know Kara's out there somewhere. But like, if this is recorded for people to watch on YouTube, I don't know who has time to do that, but to your point.
One other thing, I had to resend an email. I accidentally sent it to myself at the HRC email account this afternoon. The engineering department has requested a site visit with a few members of the commission, either on Tuesday, or I'm sorry, on Monday at 11 a.m. or on Tuesday at 11 a.m. I realized I put in 2 p.m., but I'm not available at 2 p.m. So it is just a site visit, so we cannot have quorum. So it is limited to 4 members of the HRC. If you're able or would like to attend, if you could just let me know which day is best, and then I will coordinate from there.
Meeting where?
I'm sorry?
The subject of the site visit.
It's to look at the city hall steps to, they did
Okay.
the coatings on sections of the steps and columns to see how it weatherized through the winter. And now I think they just want to make sure that there's no issue with going forward. They do have approval, but one of the conditions was that they just notify the HRC before proceeding with work.
Okay.
Selected the materials.
How's it gonna prove?
Was it the city engineer? Did they have a consultant?
Yeah, they came before,
Jim-
they came
Jim
before the
Tobin
HRC,
It was Jim Tobin's. Well, we saw his drawings. That's right.
and then the Edison coding system.
That's what they used, the Edison coating.
Yeah.
So they were planing down, I think, 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And then they would be recoding, I mean, pretty much doing, in some places, almost doing like a Dutchman with the Edison coating, and then just recoding the steps. So everything is in situ. They weren't removing any material. So
I'm available
like to go.
Monday,
Monday,
11 o'clock, City Hall steps.
yep, right out front.
Well, I may be out of town early next week, but I'll swing by in the next
What were
couple of
the-
days and take a look at what has been done.
Okay.
What were the times? You sent an email. I can respond to that.
Yes, just ignore the Tuesday at 2 p.m. So either Monday at 11 or Tuesday at 11.
Monday's not good for me. Tuesday I could do, if that's what works. I'll wait to hear from you, right, as to what
Okay,
day.
yep, I will follow up.
Okay.
Okay.
Marilyn, do you have time later in the day on Monday? And Jack, I guess?
Yeah, I do in the, back doing survey work. Anytime after 1.
Same with me on Monday.
Okay,
Yeah, 4 people the max, 4 from,
4 people are max. Yep,
I could
So-
join Monday after 2.
okay. Did you want to come, Chris?
certainly, yeah, I'll come.
Some stone consolidation.
All right.
Yeah.
The dance card is full.
Perfect.
But John, if you can go, if you're in town, I'll defer to you. So I don't want to, or Jen, if you want to go, but I don't want to take, but not to, but I would certainly preference the chair, personally,
Well, again, I can take a look at it over the weekend and provide comments. I'll know my plans better in the next day or so.
If you know, just send me an email
Mhm.
and then I'll coordinate everybody.
We'll draw straws, see who goes.
Are we attorney free? Are we like, here, we can do crazy wild things or something?
Currently, we're attorney free.
Ooh.
If we need them,
Yeah,
I just have to let them know, but
yeah.
Well, if there's nothing else to come before the commission or anybody has any issues to raise, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Thank you.
I.
Asher's now quiet. He's been thirding all
Of
these
course.
motions. But now, of course, everyone's done walking their dogs on Mercer Street.
he has very strong opinions.
No, he's just guarding the fortress there.
It's because my windows are open today for like the first time. And so he's going nuts all day. It's been,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Well,
Thank you,
all.
everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Good couple weeks.
Have a good evening.